Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you at the first afternoon panel of our today's conference, Finweek, which is taken under the auspices of the Embassy of Poland in Bratislava and Embassy of Israel in Bratislava, with the main partners, Ministry of Finance of the Slovak Republic and the National Bank of Slovakia and the company Visa, and with partners Kriv Slovak Credit Bureau, Prosman and Pavlovich attorneys, and the CTA, with the support of the Slovak Stock Exchange and the DXC Technology, Fambo Crypto, and the B2B partner Laya. At this part, maybe after the morning sessions, which were focused much more on the new regulation, including MiCA, which is probably one of the most intensive topic of your days, this panel is meant to be much more strategic, because we see a lot of new issues, a lot of new regulation which are opening opportunities, of course also requirements on your technical and business skills, and we see what maybe are the ways how to really address these opportunities and become relevant players, not only in your countries or your business, but in the industry, which is becoming more and more global, as well as the competition is becoming much more global. That is why it's a great pleasure for me to really introduce such a strong panel. So if you let me, I will start with the present speakers of our panel. So I'll start at my left hand. Georgi Penev is the director of Bulgarian FinTech Association. Welcome, Georgi. Pavel Vidovsky is president of FinTech Poland. Welcome. Florian Pircher represents FinTech Austria, so the Austrian FinTech Association. Very specific position, facing much strong power play of the FinTech organization. The only one representing state here is Martin Peter from the Slovak Ministry of Finance, and also Slovak. But also he's a member of Slovak FinTech Association, so it's not that bad. And online, let me welcome, as far as I know, we have already online Mr. Zoltán Ács, who is a managing director at FinTech Lab in Hungary. So welcome, Zoltán. Oh, perfect. Nice to see you. And then let me also welcome Mr. Rostislav Duke. He's chairman of the board at the Ukrainian Association of FinTech and Innovation Companies. Welcome, Rostislav. Ah, perfect. Nice to see you. Great. During the session, we also expect two more speakers, which are, well, concerning the distance, probably the most, to say it's attractive, being from the farthest countries. So first, not that far, will be Stefan Nistor, who is a founder and coordinator at FinTech Moldova, who is hopefully will be connected. But we will welcome him then. And Mr. Shmuel Ben Tovin, who is the economist and president of the Israel FinTech Center. So we will also ask him for a short address. So after showing you, but it's not only to demonstrate the power of the industry, but the main focus of this panel is to really open new topics for the industry, which are not only opened by the regulation, but mostly from the business opportunities. So, gentlemen, let me start again with now we can start with our online colleagues. So let me first start the first question, and you can, through that, also introduce your coming issues. What are the biggest topics of your these days in the business? And maybe what are the opportunities you're considering the most in these days, in your association, in your business? Or maybe, and now we can start with the only state body, and then we'll come to our online guests. So Martin, start you as a partly regulator, partly member.
Okay. Hello, and thank you for having me. So I'm from the Ministry of Finance. What we have with FinTech, we try to discuss with FinTech colleagues, FinTech associations throughout the years. We have Center for Financial Innovation. And what are the challenges now? I think the new regulation that is coming from the European Union. You know about MiCA. You already discussed this. It's a lot of also questions, but I think opportunities, especially for business. For us, what it means, it's more transparency, more protection of investors and clients as such. So, but it will be I think very interesting to coming years during which we will also amend our national legal framework. So MiCA, then very interesting. It's Payment Services Directive 3, where what we expect. The discussions on the European level already started, as you know, and we expect it to be very dynamic. But the outcome, I think, also for the industry will be also new opportunities and also filling gaps that were in the regulation. Hopefully, it will be in a way that will not hinder but boost business, not just in Slovakia but throughout Europe. And then it's digital euro, and this is, I think, long-term run, but also very interesting. It's something that is not common in the like globally, that you have central bank, European Central Bank, and all the central banks discussing the opportunities for digitalization of their currency, and I think this may be the most interesting, also business-wise, interesting part. So there is a lot of things going on, and I'm glad that I'm here with guys from FinTech associations, because that's what I said. We have a Center for Financial Innovation that was meant to discuss with the industry what are the needs and what are the requests for regulators to make the FinTech industry smoother. So a lot of things going on. We are happy.
Yeah, thank you very much. And now, as promised, we continue with online. So first, Rostislav, we know the issue you are dealing with it much harder than FinTech opportunities, and that is why maybe it's time to only tell you, send you some power with some applause, because we say like Slava Ukraini by special. And hope, yes. And hope we will, in the short future, we will only be discussing business issues. So after this greet, what are the biggest issues in your business or maybe in your actions through the FinTech market?
Thank you, colleagues, for being me online here in your event, and thank you for this great support and collaboration that we have between our countries during this hard period for Ukrainians. And in professional, as we collaborate as association, we do a lot of like planning and things that we try to move forward. So if we, take out the situation of war, and if we back to professional market, I think we see a couple challenges that hitting. I think it's all FinTech industry hit by it, but I will try to find some more Ukrainian first, and then we go to some global issues. So for our country, it's very important that governments start to go digital. So we even have this Ministry of Digital Transformation, and last conference in Bratislava, also online, I say how it helped Ukrainian when the war started, because the government prepared through this like digital tools some helpful things. So for me, it's challenge where the government should stop to not compete with industry in the solutions in the market. So this is like, I think it will be important even after the war. So this is like first case. A second one is open banking. So Ukraine adopt the legislation which allow open banking as a market. So I think it will dramatically change how the infrastructure and collaboration, cooperation looks like. And hopefully after the war we will be better integrated to EU infrastructure. And we expect to see more your fintechs in Ukrainian market also, just to speed up this competition for the consumer and better services. Third one, I will tell AI because it's something that dramatically change everything that we do. So the AI could write better content, generate better image. It's something that is, even children could play with this, and we don't know whether it will stop teach what they could do and how it will reflect the financial sector. We see a lot of important people around the globe say that it could hurt the economy in 10 years. So we'll see. I think AI is something that we need to teach how to live with and how to correctly use and integrate in fintech services. So third or fourth one, if we'll go like in this philosophy, it will be digital assets because it's something that could bring additional business to the table. I mean, in legal way, because now in Ukraine it's like prohibited. We have some law, but it's not implemented because tax authority don't know how to do the taxation and what will be the level of taxation, etc. But when it happens, it will bootstrap another segment of business to this like legal way of the table, and it can help banks have more business in fintechs because what we could observe that globally banks will have pressure on net margin next year and they will need to find some new products, but banks are lazy and fintechs could help them to have new products, new business. So we need some more legislation in digital assets, as Martin says. So MiCA will be implemented at EU, and I hope after EU will implement it, Ukraine will also follow that regulation and implement this like digital assets and all these crypto products in our country. So I think this is like digitalization of the government, AI, open banking, digital assets, like the main topics that we will face with. And also, I will add the last one, it's changing from KYC to KYT, because financial monitoring and anti-money laundering start to be very important in the new world that we live in, where the war are happening, where the terrorists could attack another country, and it start to be important to not let this like able to have access to the money. That's why all countries, I think, will have stronger KYC and KYT. So, and how to do this automatization will be also like a big challenge that we will face. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I think a lot to deal with. Then maybe I will continue our Central European tour through Zoltan. So, can you hear us?
Sure. Hi, everyone.
Perfect.
Thanks for the invitation.
Yes. So, what are the strongest issues you're dealing with these days?
Okay. Actually, I represent two different organizations here in this panel. The first one is I'm the chairman of the Hungarian FinTech Association, and the second one is I'm the managing director of MBH FinTech Lab. MBH FinTech Lab is a startup incubator, FinTech startup incubator, which belongs to the MBH Bank, which is the second biggest bank in Hungary. We have invested in 39 companies so far, mostly early stage FinTech companies all over the region, mostly Hungarian companies, but from all over the region. And as for the managing director of FinTech Lab, my main issue is how can we transform the bank together with FinTech companies, FinTech partnerships? Because, as Rostislav mentioned, banks are lazy. Banks have legacy core business, core banking systems, and it's very hard for them to react rapidly the challenges. And together with FinTech, they can be more successful in these topics. And I'm just searching for the good formula, because a bank is super regulated. The organization is designed to create a safe environment for everybody's money, and it's very far from being innovative, creative. Which includes the possibility of failure, of course, innovation and creativity and experiments. You make sometimes you face failures with your innovation activity, and I'm just searching for the good formula. I'm very busy to finding the answers about this to these questions. And as for my second role in the Hungarian FinTech Association, strengthening the ecosystem and the local community is probably the most important, because we need a strong community for every goals. And the first one is helping the decision makers to create a better regulatory environment. As you mentioned, as already mentioned, there are many new changes are coming from the European Union, MiCA and so on, and this will change the environment around us. I believe that blockchain will transform the banking as a whole, but it won't be so quick. It will last 20 years, 15 or 20 years, but we have to be very well prepared for this. And so as a first step, we need a strong ecosystem, we need a strong community, and we have to articulate our ideas and our needs to the decision makers in the government. And that's why we establish regulator and legal working group in Hungarian FinTech Association on Thursday, actually. So this is a first step, but I hope it will be quite successful in the near future. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and I think we won't touch this topic again. So to come back to the present speakers, Florian, what's hot in Austrian FinTech?
All right, thanks for the introduction. First of all, I'm glad to be here. Coming to Austria, I think it's very similar, like regulatory aspects are obviously something that raises questions in a lot of minds. What we are trying to focus on as of right now is to just like help, especially new incumbents, because like when you're trying to do something new, it's hard like to grasp your first footstep, and once you have that, more questions arise, more regulation comes, but those regulations shouldn't be seen as something bad, because actually it's fostering the whole ecosystem, it's helping us, it's enabling us to do what we actually want to do. And I think especially what the beauty of what we have in Europe is due to the fact that we are quite strictly regulated, and also it's moving in the right direction, in my opinion. It's just that we can leverage this trust factor also internationally. So what we are trying to do is just like also to emphasize the importance of Austria, or the EU for that matter, to just like develop the whole ecosystem and come out stronger for all parties. Then moving on to open banking, which is also one of a very high point of interest. I think this, especially for banks, is a huge task. Having all those legacy systems, as mentioned before, it can be tough, especially if you're not used to those technical details that might be necessary to create those APIs and so on and so forth. So also here we want to stay in close contact with the banks, help them, aid them, and maybe connect them with other fintechs to just like have collaboration instead of competition, because in the end it's something that's going to come. It's something that all of us should highly benefit from, and we want to leverage that at the most of our possibilities.
Excellent, thank you very much. Pavel, you're probably not surprised by my question, so I just love you.
Hello everyone, thank you for invitation, thank you for having me here. So maybe let me claim first that I don't consider FinTech as something separate. FinTech is everywhere, financial innovation is located across the financial sector. So therefore our main challenge in Poland is to increase general competitiveness of Polish financial sector, and we actually trying to consider Polish financial sector more and more as a financial center. And therefore, last year we have set up the initiative together with public sector, which is called Future Finance Poland. And this initiative has one clear aim: to increase the position Poland as an international financial center. As we very much believe that we have really valuable assets here in place, a really competitive environment, really vibrant ecosystem, modern, innovative banks, and great collaboration between banks and non-banking entities. But we have really poor marketing. And we need to do something about it, and we need to leverage our financial sector into financial center. We really put a lot of attention into international expansion. We help our members, partners, fintechs, banks, and other types of financial institutions to go abroad, present themselves, and present our aspiration that we want to be active not only in Poland, which is relatively small market still, and as we talk with our members, we see that Polish market is too small for them. They need a bit help from ourselves in expansion. Therefore, that's why we are here. That's why next month we'll be in Singapore, in Abu Dhabi, in Frankfurt, and in order to present our members and manifest our aspiration that we are building international financial center. So this is a strategic discussion. So therefore, I wanted to be strategic in this point. But at the same time, I would like to tackle a number of legal issues, as we all here in the European Union face the same challenges, which comes from Brussels. And as we all know, digital finance package is something that we are dealing with on a daily basis. Similarly, in our association, we have a number of working groups, and we are working together, fintechs, banks, and technology companies, and we are trying to understand what kind of impact all those regulations will have for Polish and European financial sector. And amongst regulations, I have my favorite ones. So those which will have specifically a huge impact on whole ecosystem. So a part of MiCA, which is different universe, and it was discussed earlier today, I would put a bit more attention into payment services regulation, and specifically one area which is access to the payment systems by non-banking entities, specifically payment institutions. So this is something really huge and something new. Non-banking entities will have a freedom to create a business environment around, and they will be not dependent from banking infrastructure. So this is really a novelty for ecosystem. Another huge, from my at least perspective, change is open finance. So FIDA regulation, which really is something even hard to imagine what kind of impact it will have for not only for fintechs, banks, but for insurance companies, for capital market, for other types of financial institutions, and for whole economy, actually, because we are talking more and more about not only about open banking, open finance, but about open economy, which will be based on data. So this is really something new. We don't fully understand what kind of impact it will have. We are in dialogue with insurance companies, with capital markets players. So for them, it's something super hard to understand. Like, it's reality similar to open banking 5 years ago. For banks, it was a shock that they have to expose, they have to open up for non-banking entities. So this new reality creates new risks, but enormous opportunities at the same time.
Thank you very much. So after nearly circling Slovakia by the neighboring countries, we are closing the opening round by a touch of south. So Georgi, what are your issues?
Right. My biggest issue, it's a strategic discussion, right? So I would like to start with just a small phrase to all you guys, Slovakians. Please, guys, fix your beer. I mean, this is not a beer. I mean, it's a bit lighter for my taste. But anyway, joke on the side. Everything that just my colleague said, I totally agree. And we see this on a daily basis. What I would extend further is just to say what we are trying from our perspective to do is to bring all of these players, whether they're incumbents, whether they're startups, whether they're the ministry guys or the regulators, supervisors, try to bring them in one place without killing each other. I mean, just to put them in a space where they can talk, where they can communicate freely, easily, straightforward. And then it turned out that actually all of these issues that we just heard, or a fair share of them, they could be eased out, they could be ironed. So in that sense, the biggest issue from us, from our perspective in Bulgaria, is really making so that all of the players within our region, they listen to the others, to the other players, and they want to collaborate to move forward.
Thank you very much, and I think it's a great idea. And maybe following this, to any of you, what will you say if you join forces and to talk to this kind of auditorium, someone who listens? Because just very recently, after the MiCA was discussed, the French finance minister, he said that this important landmark will put an end to what he called crypto Wild West. But I think the expectations towards your industry are a little higher. So maybe what is something what do you see FinTech can offer to economy or society as a part of this, or what's your offer is? And maybe then following this, I then move somewhere between this question also to Martin. What is something what states, the countries may expect from the industry? But maybe you can combine that. So,
Can I start here?
Of course.
Brilliant. So when talking about crypto, we are very conservative, at least from our association. So I would remain like this. I'm very conservative about crypto, and that the cryptos that we see, the crypto assets, not cryptocurrencies, just to emphasize on this, the crypto assets that we see, they'll stay like this even after the MiCA regulation. Anyway, from our perspective, the most important thing is really having something that is working, like PSD2 and now PSD3. Like you have a regulation that actually created a specific new business niche that we have never seen before. We do know the data that Pavel mentioned about, but we have never thought how to use them properly. So in that sense, we need that kind of regulation, even coming from outside, because from our perspective, from Bulgaria, our Ministry of Finance and our regulators there were too conservative, really, to move forward. They say that they don't have in their mandates to push forward the whole ecosystem, the sector itself. So it's not one of their jobs to do. Right. So for us, this is probably one of the tricky parts. How to make and convince these guys that it's up to them, that they should help the startups. They should, to the very extent, pretty much the same way they work with the incumbents. They should work with the newcomers. So this is what I would say from my perspective.
Mm-hmm. Any other colleagues, even including the advice from the countries where the ministries are not that conservative? So maybe some advices to Bulgarian colleagues, but not only. Even.
Well, the question is really philosophical, because what's the role of the financial sector in economy in certain state? It's a creation of wealth. It's a strengthening of the position of state, strengthening the whole economy, because it's like the key infrastructure of modern economy.
Creating of profit.
In safe way.
You can tax then.
So on the one hand, there are entrepreneurs, financial institutions. they create wealth, and on the other hand is regulator and supervisor. And those two forces should have a balance in order to create sustainable growth in financial sector and in whole economy for the benefit of consumers, citizens, and the state. So this is the key role, where regardless it is a bank or fintech, the role is the same. So, and if you want this very, let's say, comprehensive and very delicate ecosystem work properly, we need really good quality of supervision authority, open for innovation, but at the same time a bit conservative. We need a competitive financial sector, because once it's not competitive, financial institutions have no motivation to create new products, new solutions for citizens and for economy. So it's a super sophisticated scheme that should work, and now the role of fintechs is really pivotal, as they have the best skills to create new products, not big old financial institutions, but small fintechs, small startups that has a really agile approach to business development. So that's all.
Any other?
I just want to concur what you said. Before I worked for the Ministry of Finance, I worked for banks, and I was in a very big bank and then a smaller bank. And I think this is what FinTech is about, because you can have like 4 or 5 people who are together, and they are very dynamic. They can come up with the new ideas, and they can change the direction of the company. As when you compare it, when I was in the big bank, the process of introducing one new product, it was from 1 to 2 years. So it was very big process for the big bank to even introduce a new product, and not thinking about, okay, let's do things differently. It's not that easy, especially when you are very over-regulated. I have to say it. There is a very huge regulation on banks, but the financial sector as such, and it will be also on fintechs when they decide to enter the financial sector. What I see as a very big added value, and it's not that common in this region, but in the US, but also in this region, to come up with a new feature or new way of thinking how to sell product, how to provide products to, and then sell it to maybe big banks or big financial institutions. This is also something that can, and where fintech can be very, very good, because it's not just about going from garage to a big corporation, like big banking corporation, but it's also about coming with an idea that can somehow make the products of banks or insurance companies better and more competitive.
Thank you very much. And now at the moment I welcome another colleague online, who is Mr. Shmuel Ben-Tovin, the economist and president of the Israel FinTech Center. Shmuel, can you hear us? Perfect. I'm happy about it. What I'm not happy about it is to have 2 colleagues in our panel from the countries which are having great times. I mean, not great times and very hard times, because of some security issues. So just as we gave this greeting to our colleague in Ukraine, we also send you this kind of greets. And again, I say the same. I hope as soon as possible we'll be only discussing the business issues of FinTech. So now I just put you in the middle of our discussion. We are just discussing of what are maybe the open issues of the FinTech industry as a part of what FinTech industry can offer to the economy and to the society. So maybe it's also the space where you can add your point of view from Israel.
Yeah, I will be happy to. Of course, as you know, we are going through very, very difficult times. Most difficult in my lifetime in Israel. You know, a terrorist attack with 1,400 casualties, with atrocities, and I don't want to go through the entire thing. You probably are aware of it through the media, and it is really very, very difficult time. But as we are in a FinTech conference, I would like maybe to shed some light on the FinTech aspects of the crisis. And this is what we have been doing in the last 2 weeks, trying to see where the FinTech community of Israel can help the national effort and trying to cope with this crisis. So generally speaking, the high-tech industry in Israel, the main damage to it is the recruitment of reserved duty soldiers. As you probably know, much of the Israeli army is based on reserves, not on professional soldiers. So the major massive recruitment have taken many people, mainly men, but not only, from their jobs. And of course, there are many vacancies in the companies. But this maybe the remaining people can, at least for a time, try to overcome. On a general view, we get from the companies, I would say, a two-way situation. The bigger companies, the multinationals, and so on, are strong enough to sustain through the process and are not projecting any major damage. The ones who are mostly affected are the startup companies, because first, it's not the right time for them to go out and raise funds for obvious reasons. And second, if you are a company of 8 people and 3 or 4 of them are being recruited to the army, then you are in real trouble. What is the positive side? Still, if we can talk about positives. First of all, the high-tech industry as general is a major part of the Israeli economy. And as you know, to export FinTech or other high-tech products, which are mainly software and code, you don't need containers and you don't need airlines. So all the channels of supply for the industry have not been affected to a great extent. Secondly, the crisis has got a devaluation of the Israeli shekel by about 15% now. This is bad news for some, but it is good news for exporters, because for each dollar they bring, they are now getting more local currency. So this helps them, you know, to level the crisis. And also we can say that the main effect is on the supply side and not on the markets. The crisis is in Israel, is not in Europe and not in America and not in Japan. So as long as there is demand for Israeli tech and FinTech products, then the effect will be at least more moderate. Last thing is about the contribution of the FinTech industry. And here we were really caught by surprise how much things that we do for the FinTech industry can serve other purposes. And I'll give you maybe the most tragic example. We are all aware of KYC technologies, identified by biometric and other measures. All these technologies that were developed in Israel and elsewhere to allow people to conduct financial transactions from remotely are now serving the Israeli Medical Corps in identifying severely wounded people and even casualties, because some of them have arrived in a situation that even their most close relatives would not recognize. And only such systems can help recognize and identify who are the people who are the victims. Second, we have a great support from all over the world to bring money and donations into Israel in this crisis. And of course, if we would rely on the old SWIFT systems and the like, it will take a couple of days and will be very expensive to transfer the funds into Israel. Now that we have companies that do immediate transfers, international transfers with lower cost. It helps a lot. And there are other examples of where the technologies that were developed for another purpose are now serving the war effort. Altogether, I want to really say how much we appreciate the support we get from all over the world, including from you, of course, and from FINAS. And we really appreciate the support. It helps us go through the crisis, and also for the time you have given me to present our situation here. I wish you a very successful conference and hope next year to be in person in Bratislava.
Thank you very much, and we are really looking forward really to see you personally and hopefully to conclude all the difficult circumstances you are dealing with. So good luck and take care. And I think it's not very easy to speak about such factors which are triggering a practical approach as this one, which was just mentioned, but in somehow it's admirable. But it also opens maybe one other point of what FinTech can offer to the society, and it's completely new. I mean, not only having such a tragic approach to the available expert men and women, but also the completely new way of education, of financial education of the inhabitants, of people and companies in the country. So maybe, how do you consider, any of you, all present or online, the benefits of the FinTech maybe development or new technologies, new ideas to the general financial education among the people?
I think we created together with our Ministry of Finance, with the help of the Ministry of Finance of the Netherlands and the OECD, we created the so-called national strategy for financial education and financial literacy for Bulgaria. So, of course, this is just another strategic document that doesn't really make any sense if there is no action plan. So this is what we created, an action plan, who is doing what, when exactly, what are the most important priorities, why we do it, and so on, and so forth, and so forth. And then within this strategy, we have the so-called digital financial literacy. It turns out that, okay, you might have all of these new digital business models that are related to the financial sector, but in the end of the day, most of them, if you're not well prepared, not well educated, you're just another, it's just another risk for you. It's another risk for you to get over-debted, right? So what it turns out that it's very, very easy if you have a phone in your hands just to get a quick loan with a couple of clicks, right? So in that sense, we started teaching and preaching about these new risks that are being created with the digital finance tools, with FinTech, the new FinTechs, and we actually extended this further with realizing that Bulgarians, they invest heavily in crypto. Why is this the case, and what exactly are the numbers behind it? It turned out that about Bulgarians invest twice as high on per capita than every else in Europe, in the European Union. And what is the issue behind it? Is the financial literacy. first of all. First and foremost is the financial literacy level that we have in Bulgaria, and then it's about the trust in our government, the trust in the political system, the trust in our regulators, and so on and so forth. So we started working with all of this. So we started working with the governments, creating the strategy. Then we started working with the regulator, bringing them in our FinTech master degree, bringing them in different other educational initiatives. And we made them talk about crypto, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's all of the newcomers out there and new financial schemes, because we've seen more than enough of them in Bulgaria. We managed to bring the Bulgarian governments once again and open up the government and the regulators in front of Bulgarians, and even put on stage in our Sofia University, put on stage people that are against crypto and people that are pro-crypto. And we put them just like on a panel discussion like this, and the moderator is just provocating them, asking very, very specific questions. And then it's the audience, and the audience, it might be our students, but also some people from the regulator, it might be just some other professors from Sofia University and so on. So it turned out that this is very, very nice way to approach the people, and in the very end, the audience themselves, once they hear both sides, then they can choose whether you'd like to invest. Now when you hear somebody from the against point of view, they will probably give you these arguments why it's not a good idea to invest in crypto, and vice versa. So this is how you do it. You simply go and invest in it.
Thank you very much. Any other colleagues, maybe present or online? Yes? Rostislav?
Let me add two insights that we find on this financial literacy and how FinTech could help. So Ukraine as post-Soviet country don't have this like subject in school or university called financial literacy. So we have problem with financial literacy in population of Ukrainians. And when donors come to our country and start, teaching children at school, even at universities, how to deal with financial literacy, what they faced that, you teach children at school how to, have better financial literacy, etc. But they go to home and see that their parents don't use these rules and this like approach. So just FinTech brings some solutions that teach older population how to use these digital financial tools, and they start using it because it's like cheaper, more convenience, have better access, etc. And then children copy how their parents behave and start, teaching this financial literacy. They could have applications, that could have digital cards, they could use, Apple Pay by their phones, etc. So the FinTechs do the amazing leapfrog in financial education by giving this tool and practical examples. So this is like one insight. Second insight that I want to share is that it's not only question of financial literacy, it's very correlated with digital literacy. And it's also a question who will give this like practical cases for people to teach them this digital literacy. And we see that these FinTech solutions, stimulate more older population use smartphones and, to teach more about what is digital literacy, what is, secured payment or secured, internet, what is phishing, what is like some like fraud schemes that you can't be part of it and don't use some like fraudulent websites, etc. So I think the FinTech globally, so in Ukraine especially, do a lot to bring financial literacy to another level.
Thank you very much. And Martin?
I just wanted to add that it's not just about financial literacy, but I think what is very important and where FinTech can help is financial inclusion, and really provide services for people that were excluded or did not have the opportunities, or even to sometimes come with the solutions in situations where the infrastructure does not allow. For example, postal services and like financial services connected with postal services. In almost all our countries, the post offices are closed because of the rentability, efficiency, and you can provide technical solutions. Like there is a company in Slovakia providing machines that supply the services. There are tools that help. Okay, if it's a 90 years old lady, but in most cases, what I also know, I spoke to people who exactly as was said, that younger members of the family, they help the elderly to get to know the applications and technical possibilities. So I think it's not just about teaching people, but it's also about the inclusion of the people into financial system, providing opportunities for them, for normal citizens, but also for small businesses.
This brings me to the idea, like, if, for example, the social services of the state, including any kind of the aid to the marginalized social groups or some anyhow disabled citizens, this may be the way how to really replace the not economically efficient and sometimes also not working physical or financial services, just because, for example, not only as it's sometimes said, the energy poverty, but also mobility poverty becomes one of the strong issues. And if this is dealing with something as abstract and not physical as money, as we say, financial sources, it really can be replaced without getting physically in touch by the technology.
We have such experience when the war, Russian aggression started. There were a lot of refugees coming to our countries, and I know about the solution in Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, and Slovakia. Also, how to provide support to these refugees. And it was not about cash. It was about technical solutions. Banks were open, and also technical, like payment services providers were open for a technical solution. And it was done not cashless. We sat with the banks, and we provided with the regulatory framework, allowing to open bank accounts with the lower requirements for identification, because people, they lost their IDs or passports. So, but it was covered in the regulation, and that allowed for opening of accounts or payment accounts, and then providing support for. So it was not about cash, and it was definitely the example how technology can help in a very specific situation, and it helped. Because if you rely on cash in that situation, it will fail. You won't be able to do that. So I think this is exactly, as I said, the smaller. From first point of view, you think that this technical solution is just something small, yeah. But you never know how useful it can get in a specific situation for a specific group of people. So I think this is the innovation we are going through, and that's connected with crypto. That's connected with the open banking. That's connected with the open finance, as we discussed. You never know where is the niche, and you can find there a good business opportunity that can also help the overall economy and society.
After touching this through B2C or maybe B2G kind of offer, I would like to open also the question to B2B, like the part of the offer of services of the fintech sector to businesses, because what we saw in the last, 10 years were the highest technology issues, which were really taken by the, for example, manufacturing industry in a very good way, like automatizations. They started to work with data smart, But sometimes I feel that maybe this sales/financial dimension of business, it's not that easy because of contracts, because of identification, because of cybersecurity issues, and some others. What maybe can be the contribution of this sort of innovation to the business-to-business services, but also business-to-business kind of business?
So maybe I can take it. But before I refer to B2B solutions, a little bit about general approach of financial inclusion or exclusion. Again, it's very relative topic, and it probably means different in Poland and different in Austria. In Poland, every citizen has bank account. Almost all of them, they pay using their mobile phone. 10 million Polish citizens have its mobile ID in mobile phone. But at the same time, really small percentage of them invest money in capital markets using sophisticated solutions. And people buy apartments because they don't know how to invest money in other way. And real estate market is booming, which is not good for economy. So of course we have strategy, but it's never-ending story. Financial education, digital education, and definitely fintechs has a role to play to help consumers to learn how to, in this example, how to invest money in a safe way using new, sophisticated, but very user-friendly solutions or platforms. In terms of B2B solutions, of course, MSC sector is also vulnerable for digital or financial exclusion. But I can share with you how we have managed this challenge in Poland. Like 5 or 6 years ago, it was really problematic to pay cashless in Poland, not because people didn't want to pay cashless, but the acceptance network was really poor. And actually, acquirers had no incentive to offer their services to small and micro entrepreneurs because it was not profitable business. So we have managed to create a special solution and special entity which is called Polish Cashless Poland Foundation, Cashless Poland program, and banking sector, acquirers, and international payment schemes decided to set up a dedicated fund to finance free acceptance device for 1 year for every entrepreneur, every SMEs that has never accepted cashless payments before. And the program, after 5 years of existence, free terminals, including a very innovative solution like SoftPOS, which is acceptance device in your mobile phone, developed by fintechs. Actually, today, 50% of all payment terminals were distributed through this program. And now we have one of the best developed acceptance network in Poland. And actually, in Poland, you can pay cashless everywhere.
Florian, you have great Mittelstand companies in your country and in a lot of fields of business. But how is their engagement in these professional financial solutions, or maybe their approach to them?
Maybe to touch on what you just said, like cashless is still not as adopted as in Poland. I think we can take a piece from you there. I think you did a really good job. I myself, I hate it whenever I have to take cash with me because I will lose it. So in that regard, I applaud you, and I think you're moving in the right direction. We are definitely, like, we are also planning in doing something similar. I think adoption is just a little bit different in our case because This comes back to the education topic as well. There's a huge discrepancy about how you did, especially investing or financial literacy back in the days, and how it has been changed with the digital means. So basically, the issue is that you have that even if you are learning something new, then you come home to your personal environment, and all the others are saying the different way, which is the problem that we have to kind of tackle. To not just make the younger population more prone to use digital technologies, but also the older generation, and do it in a way that it's beneficial for both of them. In the B2B context, in terms of education, I don't think that we have a huge issue there. I think that one of the biggest things, as already mentioned, is this cashless thing. We are working hard on it, and just also making it a little bit, having a point of information for all of the other businesses that want to go in any kind of relationship, might it be B2B, B2C, or B2G, just to be the point of information and give them whatever they need and help them along the way.
Thank you very much. Another aspect of the qualification or education system is the question of technical requirements and also technical education. So maybe I put it like this. What are the open issues in technical requirements to new fintech businesses, and maybe how the education system is prepared to deal with them?
Yeah, I see, that's a tough one. So once again, speaking from our small experience, we have now been running a master degree in finance, investments, and fintech. Actually, four master degrees are running simultaneously at this very moment in Bulgaria, and two of them, they are very specifically related to fintech. And within these fintech master degree programs, we do have programming languages that we teach. I mean, it's no-brainer to do it. You cannot go any further without, let's say, Python, C++, whatever you need, and whatever you mention as a programming language, it might be used in fintech. So you should have some knowledge in it. It's not enough just to be an economist, a finance guy, actually. And we do teach these programming languages within the Faculty of Economics and Business Administration at Sofia University. And the second master degree, the second fintech master degree with programming languages is in a private university that is within the space of finance and insurance. So you cannot go any further without IT. Actually, that's why we have it at the first place. In Bulgaria, there are a lot of well-educated, qualified IT personnel. Then these IT personnel simply attracted a lot of FDIs that happened to work in fintech. So there you go. That's why we turned out with about 160 fintech companies, 60 of them FDIs, most of them scale-ups and large corporations, and then about 90 of them startups. And most of these 90 companies are actually spin-offs of the first 60. So you simply go and you work a couple of years for an FDI who came to Bulgaria. Then you teach, you get this craftsmanship, if you will, and then you create your own thing. You do it, then you start working not only for the global markets, for Europe mainly, but also for the small Bulgarian market, hopefully with Bulgarian banks. Of course, the life cycle there is just another burden. But anyway, in the end of the day, the IT part it's an essential one. We have been investing there very heavily, and we do understand that is actually something that is needed. We as an association, since there are so many FDIs, they come to us and they ask us. So if we want to bring value, if we want to have a sustainable business model as an association, we actually have to provide value for these FDIs. And these FDIs, they don't really care about regulation. They care about talent. because they extract this talent from our country, then they work with it for the global markets. And then there is that thing that I mentioned, whether it's good or bad to extract talent from a specific region and just use it for specific purposes that are not related to the local system. Actually, yes, that's a good one, because these guys, they will not vanish, they will remain there, they will still be in their country, even after the FDI goes somewhere where it's much more efficient, cost efficient and so on.
And I'll tell you one private information about Martin. He's dealing with these ideas very strictly, because after this panel, he will run to Bratislavian University of Economy, and he teaches this. So
yeah, we have a FinTech program there,
and then
fortunately, 15 minutes after we finish, I start a lesson there.
So then I can come and just give another lecture.
It will be very interesting for the students. You know that they're always happy to see someone from the real business. So,
and I place a specific question to this. What do you see from your point of view? Is it easier to add the technical or IT skills to the education of future economic experts, or the other side, like to start to teach IT guys and girls economy? I'll be smart.
I will tell you what are we now preparing. We have a discussion between the Slovak Technical University here in Bratislava, Economics University, and the law school here in Bratislava to do joint classes and program focused on FinTech. Because you said that they don't care about regulation, but the regulation cares about you. You know, we are always behind the corner, and it's always good to have tech guys and economic focused guys, and put them together with law students, girls and boys, because and what we also do, and what is missing. Here is business, how to say it, really teach them how to do business, yeah? So have like a specific business school that does not only teaches you what is the economics and what is the theory, but how the business really works. And this is what we do. We also have in our program people from fintechs, from startups, from venture capital industry, and we give them lectures. Today I will have compliance and anti-money laundering, very important, interesting. But what we also do, we teach them how to go through the process of preparation of business model of a company, and they do their projects, and then they present it to us, also when it's possible, to people from business, and they can give them. We had one project that was actually went beyond just a school project and went into startup phase or something like that. And it's good because these are normal students on the economics, and they start. And this is what I want to do, to coming together, like economics, IT. It's very important. That's why we try to facilitate this discussion in Slovakia. But I also think really a lot of regulation is going on and coming towards us, and it's very good to maybe start thinking beyond the border of just Slovak Republic, Poland, Bulgaria, because it's not about you, it's more about regulators. We had discussions before, like 3 years ago, with our colleagues from Czech Republic, Hungary, about maybe creating some Central Europe regulatory hub or something like that, or innovation hub, because we have it working in Slovakia, but more or less the regulation is the same everywhere, with slight differences that may hinder your business. And as you said, going abroad is one of your goals for Polish companies, and I think it's also for Slovak companies. So maybe it would be great to really think about coming together in the CE region, and also from our point of view as regulators, to maybe facilitate this idea, because you have UK have this global regulatory network, and it works well. We can have something here. It's with the conservative point of view of some of our regulators, it will be not that easy, but I think it's a good. Maybe you can start something like that, and then we will follow. Okay, I really need to go. I'm sorry for that. Thank you for listening to me. I speak a lot, and it was a pleasure to meet you and to discuss with you.
Thank you very much, Martin. Students, but we have a nice replacement for you, because just I just got the information that we finally succeeded in connecting Stefan Nistor, who is the founder and coordinator of FinTech in Moldova. So, Stefan, can you hear us? Maybe we are not. Ah, perfect, excellent, welcome. So what we just dealing with the issues that we discussed, the opportunities and the parts of offer fintech industry is giving to the society and economy, and how does the education system deals with this, either in the economy side of the or business side of the qualification, but also technical issues. What is the situation in your country? Maybe what are the biggest deals in your fintech industry concerning these issues, or maybe the ways how to develop the fintech?
I apologize. I think I lost you just for a few seconds, but if I understood correctly, the question is how is the fintech ecosystem in Moldova in terms of the education side? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, and how it matches with the business and other opportunities the development of fintech is offering.
I understand. Okay. So in terms of education, fintech in general is a term. It is a very new concept in Moldova. It's developed as an idea for a business for both the traditional financial sector and also for the IT in the very recent years. So let's say until the pandemic, there wasn't much talk about the fintech. The only discussion around fintech was from a few companies that were doing fintech solutions abroad. So basically, they had the development team in Moldova, but all the solutions that they were providing are for the European or the Western market in general. After the pandemic, fintech became a more discussed topic on the local level as well, which meant, as you asked, the education side as well. So there's more efforts from, including from the banking sector, to talk about fintech in terms of a potential sector for young talent, basically. In general, problem with young talent in IT and in the financial sector, which I imagine is the case every years. Tech became a topic in the universities, economic, international. I apologize. Of course, fintech, more kind of based.
Okay, I'm afraid we are facing another technical issue, which wasn't already mentioned. So I tried to bridge to another one. Zoltán, education system in Hungary is known for good talent management. How can you employ that, or how are you dealing with this in attracting FDIs for fintech development?
Yes, it's an interesting question, and I'm just wondering whether should we talk about it without mention the disruptive effects of artificial intelligence in your education. So I think, as I see, artificial intelligence will change the topic as a whole of financial education. We emphasized so many times that financial consciousness is crucial if you want a financially healthy society. And with AI, with AI-based fintech companies like, for example, the super smart Clio, many people won't need to be conscious because they will get a huge help from the next generation of personal finance management softwares. And so these solutions can help many people save themselves from their bad financial decisions. But there is a huge disadvantage of AI-based PFMs. The growing the growing inequalities in all over the world is one of the biggest issue in the contemporary society, and I think AI will galvanize these processes. AI can galvanize these processes because there will be a huge difference between those who don't want to be conscious with AI and between those who can augment their already excellent skills. For example, if you are talking about fintechs, for example, with their financial skills. So this is one part of the story. The second part of the story is I think artificial intelligence will lower the entry thresholds of being an entrepreneur because you are able to automate many things, many processes, business as usual processes in your micro company as an entrepreneur. And in the future, I think there will be many good entrepreneurs, more than now actually, if they are able to use the technology right. And in the future, I think understanding the context, synthesizing our environment, synthesizing the tremendous amount of information, this will be probably the most important skill. And this is gonna be the era of generalists. And if you're talking about the education system, I don't think that fintech entrepreneur needs a very deep technological background in the future. It helps, of course. They have to understand the context, the framework, the main point of certain technologies, but if they are able to use artificial intelligence, if they understand what's happening around there, if they are developing their synthesization skills, it will be crucial in the future. But it's only my thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you're talking about talent management, we should introduce these kind of methods, this kind of approach immediately in our education system.
So more important will be the interdisciplinary approach than very hard skill oriented education. Before Martin left, he mentioned.
Did you hear me? Sorry.
Oh yes.
Of course, it's important, but as an entrepreneur, it's your approach and mindset and synthesizing your context is a bit more crucial.
Yes, thank you very much. So we open few topics which are important for the development of fintech, and we see now the phase as the new regulation is coming, and you have certainly mentioned few opportunities for the business, and now maybe is the question, what are the next steps? Because as Martin said before he left, now the European legislation or the regulation is coming to local level to all our countries. So now it's maybe the question, and I can help myself with saying someone else's words, but I think they are smart. the Digital Europe's Director General, Mrs. Cecilia Bonnefold-Dahl, she said after this regulation was approved, and she said it was important, but now industry must be involved in the process. So how you see the way, because usual well of this process used to be like, okay, European authorities approved some kind of a legislation, and it came down to local level, and it became part of the local legislations, but the regulation became little different according to local principles or local let's say experience or practice. But now this is so much international that it raises, at least for me, the question if there is a way how to, at least for the countries in this panel or maybe in our region, to try to somehow unify the ways the regulation will be taken into practice, all addressing all the practical issues you face in your daily business, and maybe to really be able to become not as one company, one country, which are, except for Poland, too small to be globally relevant, but maybe become relevant as a European FinTech brand. So what may be the next step in this process?
I think we've already taken some steps toward that direction. A couple of years ago, a colleague of mine, together with Pavel and about 10 more colleagues, they actually created the largest fintech association called the European Digital Finance Association. So through EDFA, the acronym of the European Digital Finance Association, through EDFA we've been working towards the creation of PSD3, MiCA regulation, DORA, EID, you name it, we've been working on it through EDFA. But it's all about the level of maturity, and this is the main and the most important part here. I would say that just because fintech is a new business niche, the companies, they're still not mature enough to really think like 5-10 years ahead. And this is how it works in Europe. You start creating something, you now see it with Digital Euro. They started it, if I'm not mistaken, in 2020, 2021, somewhere there. And we're still waiting for this magical Digital Euro to happen, right? So it's going to take a bit more time, they say, just like with MiCA. Then probably we will see some leaked documents here and there, just to find out how it's going to go. And throughout these periods, we've been managing to, or at least this is what's been happening for the last 3 years, is ourselves as Bulgaria, and then to use the leverage of the EDFA, really to work actually together with the European Commission and the European Parliament for the European regulations and directives that are later on being transposed or simply translated to our legislation. So this is how it's been working. What we are still missing, and probably this is something that we can do here today, is actually to have this flavor of the Eastern countries. I mean, what we've been discussing already a couple of times with Pavel is that the European countries, the eastern parts of the Union, we're not so well developed. And what we have as issues, they're not the issues of the western sides of the Union. And there is even another differentiation between North Europe, northern countries, and then the southern one. So the best we could do, from our perspective, is to unite on different regional levels and to move forward from there. But unity and being part of a bigger community with the nice collective mindsets, this is the way to go forward.
And besides joining forces, it also offers much bigger market to the solutions you offer.
Well, we should be aware. I will be this time more positive, more optimistic, and we should be aware that we are, as a European Union member states, Poland from 2004, we are participating in a really unique project, which is the creation of a single market of financial services. this is something extraordinary for fintech companies based in European Union, based in Poland, based in Bulgaria, based in Lithuania, because we have access to one of the biggest and richest markets in the world. So we have to remember about it, and at the same time, the level of harmonization of this market is really, really high. It's really high. We cannot complain, especially when we take into account the fact that the European Commission, year after year, decide to use more and more the method of regulation, which is method of harmonization, which is regulation, not directives, but regulation, which is directly binding. It means that national or member state has almost no space for maneuver, no space for local implementations, and we create really unified financial ecosystem. Of course, there are still gold plating, national options, but if you want to complain, you can always complain. From the perspective of fintech based in Warsaw, you have really great opportunities to explore a single market for financial services.
And what is maybe the future opportunity of a next level is that under this kind of, I would say, roof or this kind of, in a way, how European Union is becoming more active in setting standards in regulation, it may be relevant also globally.
Absolutely.
Because unusually we are not at the end, but maybe at the first phase, let's say.
We European Union is a regulatory empire, and we are really setting the standards in positive way. Look at the open banking, PSD2. The approach designed at the European level now is adopted across the world. Similarly with the data protection rules. Now with open finance. MiCA, look at the MiCA. So we should capitalize on this.
Yes, definitely. And I think joining forces is something which offers you not the advantage in the markets in your country, or even not in European space, but maybe also being relevant partners as a player under European fintech brand to large countries such as United States or Canada or other unions like ASEAN or some other countries. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It was very interesting, and I think this is a great idea I think, as it was called, strategical, and I meant to be. I think it was. Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure to your present here and also to our colleagues which are still online. So I just wish you very great success in the business and also with dealing with this new regulation and being partners to the state. And also thank to Martin Peter, who is not here anymore, but also luck for such partners in the state administration. So thank you very much also for your attention, and then wish you the great rest of the day and the coming days of the conference. Thank you.